All right. How's that look? Doesn't look too bad. Looks a little bright. Guys, I am just doing a quick live to one, test out my setup with the Osmo Pocket 3. And then also, like the subject says, maybe talk about Fuji and what I hope Fuji will look to do with two particular cameras. Um, and do a wish list, something I haven't done in a long time. So don't know if anybody going to join because this is super impromptu. So I'm just going to run through this. And then afterwards, when it posts, if you guys watch it, which I hope you will, leave your comments. Let me know particularly what you think about the video quality. I need to work on my lighting still. That light seems to be too bright. And I need to figure out with the Osmo how to get my color a little bit more contrasty and bring that contrast in. But I'll figure that out. So, with that said, just real quick, wanted to talk about some cameras. So this weekend I was out shooting in Eastern Market. Hadn't gotten out in a while. Visited my favorite hat store, Henry the Hatter. So I'm seeing how the hat looks here, and it feels great. If you're in Eastern Market ever, go definitely check out Henry the Hatter and see what you can do. Not sponsored, just love the store. But I was out shooting this guy, which is the X, or to say GFX 100 RF. And when I got back and started editing the photos, of course, multitasking like we always do, I went ahead and I checked out some videos on what's going on in the gear industry when it comes to cameras and so forth, and saw, of course, another video on Nikon's new release in ZR, and then of course Canon's release with the C50, I believe. And it got me thinking about Fuji and what Fuji is going to do next with two particular cameras and accessories around those cameras. And so the first one we're going to get right on it. You could actually see it right here in the background, and that's the GFX, or I should say, I want to say GFX, but this is the X-H3s right here. And, you know, I know Cindy Daly is another guy. He's a guy I follow. He's on YouTube. He is I believe he's a Fuji ambassador. He shoots the GFX or GFX and X-H2 for his video work. And, he mentioned how he thinks, Fuji may have kind of forgot about this camera. But I'm going to say for, as we get into the end of the year and start to look at 2026, I'm looking for the upgrade on this camera, the X-H2s. I'm looking to see what Fuji's going to do with this, particularly because of Nikon's recent release and because of the Canon. What is Fuji going to do to answer that? And I think they already have the answer, which is the X-H2s. Um, I I would like, of course, to see them at least with this camera. Let's start off with that and say, hey, Fuji, definitely continue to give us the firmware updates to Kaizen that we so dearly miss for us longtime Fuji shooters with this camera, and give us the stuff that this processor can handle. That's first things first. But when it comes to what I would like to see in an XH3s is one, maybe Fuji looks at that body style that the Sony FX has, that Nikon is kind of in a way going to with the ZR, and that, of course, with the Canon C50 looks very similar to. If they did, I'd like to see one quarter screw holes, and I'd like to see the fan incorporated in that body so we don't have to use an accessory. Um, and I'd like to see everything that's in this camera. This camera is a powerhouse, guys. This camera is more than what I would need right now if I decided to use all of the stuff that this camera can do. I actually can get away with the XS20 for most of the stuff I do on YouTube. But I would like to see Fuji definitely give us another I won't say iteration, but give us XH3s that is even more of a video specific camera, if you will. And in saying that, one of the things that I would want to see them do is, particularly with the lenses, they came out with this power zoom that's on this lens, and that's it. They didn't do anything else. This is an 18 to 120, guys, and you see how big this lens is. This makes for a very awkward setup, in my opinion, and trying to hand hold this and do some run and gun stuff. The button layout is not that great on this. From the buttons itself to doing fast and controlled zooms, steady zooms, to having the futs with the different rings that handle different zoom features as well as the focus ring. I like to see what they did with their actual cinema lenses that are zooms, giving us two zoom ranges. Maybe redo this XC15 to 45 and an XF version, giving it some upgraded motors, and definitely take a look at how they really should set up the zoom and features on the ring for control and allow us to use it with a remote that we can actually put on the cage. So that brings me back to the camera. If they decided to stick with this body, which I don't have an issue with, I like the SLR, DSLR, or I guess you say, style body and the grip. This thing is fantastic. Ergonomics are great, because we have small rig, right? We have companies like Small Rig that make cages for this thing, and this thing is great. So I can rig this out with the help of the Small Rig cage, but this is awkward. The only way I can use this is to put this on the bottom on the Arc Swiss and or screw it in without me having this newer adapter on here to use and to use it if I want to have it attached to the camera. I'd like to see a version of this where it has a quarter screw threads on it. It's just a remote that I can put somewhere on this, say a handle attachment on this, and that would be great. So that's what I would like to see with the XH2 going to the XH2s or XH3s, excuse me, and what I'd like to see in the camera. Definitely, if we're going to get a new processor, that processor is going to help with the autofocus of this camera, because that's what you would hope that autofocus enhancements would come from, which is new processors that can really work that algorithm. So that's what I'm looking at when it comes to at least one of the cameras I wanted to talk about on this live, and also again test out this live. Let me know what you guys think when you see this. I know I need to work on the lighting. It's not what I want. And the Osmo Pocket 3, I need to figure out colors. Maybe I need to come up with a color that I can put in here and help. On the Osmo, it actually looks pretty good, but when I look at it on the live on my MacBook, it looks a little muted in color. But let's get to the next camera as I continue to test out this live, and that would be the X Pro line. So we know that Fuji and Fuji rumors and everything said there would be no X Pro 4 in 2025, and I don't even know if there might be one in 2026. And that's a bummer because Fuji has always been kind of slow on the X Pro line with dropping new versions. It doesn't follow the cycle of the other cameras where you may see one every year, year and a half. Um, so what I would like to see on that is, first things first, it's going to definitely come with Iris. It's going to definitely come with the new processor and a new sensor that's out at the time. That's expected. If they can put IBIS in the X106, they can definitely put IBIS in the X Pro 4. But what is it what I want to see in that? Well, the X Pro is usually their creative series that they like to do something special with, kind of like the BF of Sigma, the X Pro is for Fuji. And there was at least a year or so ago, somebody came out with a rendering of an TX3, which is a digital version of the widely loved film X Pan version for Fuji, which is the same as the Hasselblad X Pan, right? And it looked gorgeous. It looked gorgeous. It was able to do an X Pan aspect and then go back to a smaller aspect. And that's, I guess, where I'm going. I love how Fuji has implemented the aspect ratio feature in this camera, and I'd like to see them do that in an X Pro 4. I'd like to see them keep the OVF and EVF hybrid viewfinder, keep the body style, and then on top of that, I'd like to see them come out with a limited edition, just like they did with the X106. Of course, I'd like to see them do a better job of how they handled that, for sure. That was a nightmare how they handled getting those limited editions out. So I would like to see them do a limited edition. But the biggest thing I would like to see them do is do like Leica does. Give us accessories that are Fuji branded that we could get with the regular camera camera releases, right? Um, I want to be able to get a case that says Fuji on it for all my cameras. I want to be able to get shutter buttons that says Fuji on it, the grips, all of it, just like with Leica. I don't want Leica prices, of course, but I would like that. I like what Fuji did with this camera, where they gave us the hood and they gave us a filter. They gave us a nice strap. I like what they did with the limited edition, where you got a shutter button that was branded, you got a hood or a lens cap, I should say, that was branded. I think that was great. I think that's what I would like to see them do based on whatever they wind up doing to make the X Pro special. Now, one of the things I don't know if I care one way or the other about when it comes to that is the LCD screen for the back. Now, I love my X Pro 3. Was bummed that I let it go, but I let it go to get more lenses for the GFX. So it was still worthwhile. But I loved the fact that I can flip that LCD screen up and it would be gone out of the way. What I didn't love, it was gimmicky. It became gimmicky and I can care less for it, was a smaller one that was on the back that showed the film sims. And you know what? If we did that again, give me more functionality out of that, and I'd be happy with that. So that's what I would like to see with those. As far as the accessories, yes. Now, when it comes to lenses, I think that's part of the accessory piece with that, where we would get maybe some limited edition lenses that went with the X Pro line, not just the limited edition, but the X Pro line. I love the way Sigma came out with lenses that were styled and color keyed for both of the camera color variants. I thought that was fantastic. I think Fuji should definitely look at that as an option as well. It'd be nice to get a gray X Pro, or if we did the Dura, although folks didn't like the Dura finish that much. But let's say we did something special with colors, and then we had matching lenses like the 23, the 35, and the 50. That would be, or 56, I should say. That would be awesome. I would buy that 3 lens set with a X Pro. I would definitely get the 23. I would definitely get I said the 2035, but I meant full frame equivalent, right? So that's the 23. If I was to really look at those, what lenses that would be for me, I would love to get an 18, a 23, and a 35. So that would give me in full frame equivalent, pretty much that would give me like a 27, a 35, and a 50. That would be awesome. So that's what I'm looking at, guys. Hopefully, folks enjoy this quick one. Again, I threw this live together to do a quick talk and start some noise on what Fuji should look at dropping in the next coming months as we get into 2026, and also test this live. So I want to get back to doing lives. You guys let me know in the comments. And for those of you who jumped on real quick to see what I was into, I appreciate you. Definitely let me know in the comments, for those that watch this after the fact, what you think about the live, the setup. Again, I know the lighting I need to work on. I need to work on color as well with the Osmo. I'm gonna try this again with my X-H2 I want to talk about something else impromptu, and we'll see how this gets on. And you guys, again, let me know if you'd like to see me start to do some lives for the Gear Talk, where we can all talk about Fuji or whoever when it comes to Gear Talk, and it be a live setting. So later, see you guys on the next video.